Keto and crime, keto and crime. We uncover the grime on keto and crime. Keto and crime, keto and crime. Now is the time for keto and crime.
Hey everyone, welcome to Keto and Crime. Let's talk about day 6 of the Rittenhouse trial. Very interesting day. We had the main part of the day was taken up by the prosecution's witness, Gaige Grosskreutz, who was the third gentleman shot by Rittenhouse on the evening of August 25th, 2020, the one that was shot in the arm. His testimony took up the majority of the day, so that's what we'll pinpoint on here. The prosecution began asking standard questions. Basically, Gaige said that he was there to act as a paramedic. He had a paramedic hat on. That's pretty much on video, and hats. He did have a pistol, he said, for protection. He said once the shooting began and he saw Rittenhouse running down the road, he thought he was an active shooter and attempted to stop him. He said he never chased him. He did not mean to point his gun at him, and felt that he was kind of an innocent bystander there. His right bicep was vaporized, basically. Once he pointed the gun, he was shot. So that's pretty much the gist of the prosecution story. And then upon cross-exam, Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyer began questioning him, asking him, you say you weren't chasing him, but yet here's video of you running after him, and he didn't really have an answer for that. He then asked him about a $10 million lawsuit that he currently has against the city of Kenosha for allowing guns and dangerous demonstrations. I agree the city of Kenosha should have probably done better to lock this stuff down, but he did ask him about that lawsuit, and Grosskreutz did admit to it, a $10 million lawsuit, and basically asked him if his lawsuit was served better if Kyle was found guilty. And he kind of danced around the question, as you can imagine. But he did reiterate that I'm not that kind of person. I didn't mean to point my gun at him. It was an accident, and I got shot as a result. I thought he was an active shooter. He did continue along that line of testimony. And then they turned it to the video of that evening where he was approaching Rittenhouse with a laser pointer and everything, showing Rittenhouse on the ground, showing him approaching once, stopping, both him and Rittenhouse backing up, and then when he pulled the gun, that's when Rittenhouse fired, and that's pretty obvious in the video. I can't show it here because YouTube. But for the most part, they did keep backing that up and rewinding it, pointing at it with a laser pointer, showing, okay, you're approaching him. He puts his gun on you. Grosskreutz kind of backs up. Kyle lowers the rifle, and then he jumps forward with the gun, and that's when Rittenhouse shoots. That's very plainly in the very famous video that's out there. So he began questioning him about that, and then said, so what you're saying is that Rittenhouse, and then Grosskreutz did finally admit that he was only fired on when he drew his pistol, but he fell back on, I didn't mean to point my pistol, didn't mean to draw my pistol, didn't mean to point my pistol. And the lawyers, of course, the defense attorneys kind of ignored that and just kind of went on with, but what you're saying is it wasn't until you pointed your gun at him and advanced on him that he fired, right? Correct, was Grosskreuz's reply. And I have that clip for you right here.
Pointed your gun at him, advanced on him with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him. Then he fired, right?
Correct.
So, and it was right after he said that this picture of the prosecution was taken. So yeah, yesterday was quite a whole lot of bully-ha about that, about him pretty much admitting he was only fired on when he had a pistol pointed and advanced on him. Pretty much, again, the prosecution almost proving the defense's case. Now, I could be totally wrong, and the jury may come back with guilty, guilty, guilty on all charges, but based on the evidence that I've seen so far, I don't see how anybody, reasonable person on a jury, could say it was not self-defense in any of the shootings. I do have a feeling that Rittenhouse is going to go down for the curfew charge and a, recklessly discharging a firearm kind of charge. I do have a feeling he will go down for that. He will spend some time in jail for that. But based on the testimony I've seen so far, unless something drops today or some other time in the trial, and the prosecution's about to rest, in the next couple of days, so they don't have much more to put out there. Another interesting part of Grosskreutz, and I know I say his name, Grosskreutz, uh, uh, testimony was the uh, defense, after getting that comment, they kind of latched on to his comments that he did not intend to point the weapon at Rittenhouse, and then they kind of honed in on that and got him to admit, I believe in the Second Amendment, the right to carry arms, but that was no different for me that night than any other night. But then he did back up to some tweets, which I have them here, of his former roommate saying that after he visited Gaige in the hospital, that Gaige said his only regret was he didn't kill Rittenhouse and empty the entire clip into him. So he was kind of backtracked and kind of honed in on that. I didn't mean to do it. I was just there to protect people kind of thing. So, yeah. For the most part, he said that he never said that his roommate tweeted that in error, but I have those tweets right here. So again, it boils down to one person's word against the other. It'll be interesting to see if they call this roommate in. But basically, that was day 6, kind of a roller coaster. Again, so far I haven't seen the prosecution prove their point at all. I hope if they're going to do it, they need to get on it soon. And with that being said, again, I'm just bringing you the facts, just the facts. This is all from me watching the stream. And I'll be back soon with day 7. And with that being said, until next time, Keto Krime. Out.